Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the J Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Winokowski, joined today by none other than Jacob Lehman. How are you doing, Jacob?
I'm doing pretty good. Clocked in a 7-hour shift now. Let's talk some foosball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look at putting in that Baskin Robbins work. He's got the shirt and everything. Look at that.
Shift manager and everything.
Yes, sir. Wow.
Doesn't get easier.
Well, like Lehman already told you what we're talking about. The NFL draft, as we're recording this, round 2 and round 3 are going on as we speak. But this one's going to be round 1 only, just because I don't know how up to date you are on round 2. I think they're around like pick 50 right now, but we're just going to get into what happened day 1 and some other very interesting sports news in the NFL that happened yesterday. I mean, and it got crazier today. I don't know if you know the update from today, but without further ado, we're going to get into it. We're going to start before the draft. We're going to start about the craziness that happened, I don't know, 4 hours before the draft, which was Aaron Rodgers is so disgruntled with the Packers, he wants out. So have you heard about the update from today?
The retirement?
So that and what was said even before that.
Fill me in.
Okay, so yesterday it was he told people in the front office that he may not return to play. He wants to be traded or retirement, whatever. Came out this morning. Now he's telling teammates, I'm not playing another game in a Packers uniform. And then it comes out later this afternoon that he is strongly considering retirement. So that's what's going on. So, Lehman, give me your thoughts on this situation.
Well, I mean, this is a 2-year thing that ever since because 2 drafts ago, the draft before the draft of Jordan Love, they were saying when they hired Matt LaFleur, they apparently told Aaron Rodgers, quote, "You better not be the problem," to their star quarterback, because they fired McCarthy and then they hired LaFleur, who's a great coach, but you don't normally tell your star quarterback that. And then fast forward to last year's draft, not only did they get Jordan Love, he didn't really fall into their lap. They traded up to get him, and they didn't tell Aaron Rodgers they were doing that.
They didn't tell him that.
And you take a quarterback, yeah, he's going to be upset. But if you call him 5 minutes before, he won't be as upset because he was pissed. He was pissed off last year about Jordan Love. And now this happens, and I mean, a month ago, everyone was like, because he was trying to rationalize it. He was like, I'm going to do Jeopardy half the year and then football half the year, just to try to kind of like stick it to the Packers organization. And he was like doing the math, only 80 days for Jeopardy, 180 for the football season, this. His head just not there with the Packers ever since, Jordan Love. And it's kind of like when the Packers got caught cheating with Jordan Love, and they're like, no, I love you, Aaron. And now they're like, Jordan Love's outside the door. Like, he's just there. He won't leave. And like they're not getting rid of him. And I mean, he wants out now. It seems like he's gone. I mean, unless you have a different opinion about it.
No, I'm with you. Yesterday was a day of celebration for everyone who roots for the NFC North, who are Bears fans, Viking fans, and Lion fans. Like, that is great news. I don't care if he
now someone else can have the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. It's Kirk Cousins if Rodgers is gone, because it's not Jared Googly Goff.
We don't know it's not Jared Goff. We don't know for sure yet.
It's not Jared Goff. He's in Detroit. It's not Jared Goff. It's not going to be, I mean, apparently Andy Dalton's still QB1 in Chicago, and it ain't the Red Rifle. And that leaves Kirk Cousins or Jordan Love. And, I mean, I criticize Kirk, but he'd be the best QB in the division.
Might be gone.
We can talk about that when this situation comes up.
Okay.
But
Goff wins on Mondays.
Oh my God, this guy loses Super Bowls though. Anyways, as Lehman is hurting my head. Yeah, the Rodgers situation is so interesting. Yeah, you draft Love, and then without telling him, which is like, that's a stupid move. Like that's I am sure the Bears called Andy Dalton and were like, we're drafting a quarterback, deal with it. Yeah. And or who else?
Or maybe they're just like, he's Andy Dalton. He'll deal with it. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's a fringe starter in the league. He's not the MVP.
That too. that too. But yeah, the Aaron Rodgers situation is so weird and just like it's been happening. And so I just want to tell you this stat. No quarterback for the Packers has ever played a 17th season, a Packers quarterback. Bart Starr, 16 years, retired. Brett Favre, 16 years, retired. Aaron Rodgers just finished his 16th year.
The Packers are always thinking too far ahead. Like sometimes, look at the Bucks. The Bucks are not going to be good in 4 years. You're going to have no cap space. They're overpaying players in their prime that won't be in their prime towards the end. But it's all the right moves because you have Tom Brady. You have Brett Favre. You have Aaron Rodgers. And I know Rodgers got one chip. Did Brett get 0 or 1?
Brett got 1. So in 32 years, they've got
32 years of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, you got 2 championships because you're always thinking ahead. You don't want to draft a wide receiver in the first round. You want to draft your next quarterback when this quarterback's going to win MVP for you. Like, I understand, like, thinking ahead to the future, but you can't mortgage what you have. That's why everyone's so shocked that they shouldn't be shocked that they signed Aaron Jones to 12 years. I mean, to 12 mil a year. Because that's a great contract. Everyone's like, they probably wouldn't have done that. That's a problem.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. So just some funny things to point out. The last time the Packers took a wide receiver in the first round, Jordy Nelson, 2008.
And look how good that worked out for him. Look, they decided not to do it. They decided not to do it anymore.
And think about they passed up on Chase Claypool. These are some of their Chase Claypool, DK Metcalf. Apparently, they really like Justin Jefferson and tried to trade up for him. And my boys in Minnesota said, nah. Yeah, so those are just 3 names to mention. I mean, what? Yeah, Packers got some issues. Definitely.
I don't see a way they get a 3rd Hall of Fame quarterback. I don't see a way they because I think they're just spoiled. They don't know how hard it is to bridge the gap from a Brett Favre to an Aaron Rodgers.
Yep, I agree. And so the retirement talk. So Jeopardy is actually when Alex Trebek did it, they filmed 5 episodes a day. So it actually came to you worked about 43, 45 days of the year. That's it. So, I mean, if he really wanted to, he could probably do both. But honestly, I'm pretty sure, I think if you search up Alex Trebek made like close to 15 mil a year. I think Rodgers is fine with that pay.
I think Rodgers I don't think he needs a penny for the rest of his life. He also married an actress who isn't exactly hurting either. So
yeah, that's right. I forgot they actually got because I remember.
So money is not a problem for him.
It was Danica Patrick. They were dating, and then they broke up, and now that's right. He did get married. I forgot about that. I mean, discount double check, baby.
Congrats to Aaron Rodgers. Put a ring on it. Come to Denver, for the love of God, please. So rumors were swirling out of control yesterday, and so this reporter, I don't remember his name. But I know he's a credible guy, and he's said correct things before, so it's not some Joe Schmo on Twitter. It's a real reporter said on a Denver radio station that the deal is as done as it can get. And then Denver doesn't draft a quarterback with the 9 pick, which we'll kind of talk about that in a little bit. But, like, I feel like if it were to happen, if the Packers were smart, it would have happened yesterday to get the 9th pick. Like, right now, Aaron Rodgers, 1, has all the leverage, and 2, they're not going to get shit in return for him now. And I'll be the first to tell you, I'm normally pretty hard on my teams. If you listen to the TH Ubers podcast, I lay into Lakers sometimes, even though they're my team. Denver, if they get Aaron Rodgers, top of the food chain. As far they're obviously behind the Bucks and the Chiefs and stuff, but they're not going to have the 9th pick in next year's draft. That was a this year's draft only thing if they get Aaron Rodgers. So getting next year's first rounder is going to be half as valuable as if you got this year's Denver first rounder. I mean, look what that turned into. It Surtain the 2nd, which is a great pick. So I mean, for the Packers, I think Aaron Rodgers did that on purpose because 1. He likes to take the spotlight away. He doesn't get a lot of coverage up in Cheesetown unless he's winning titles. So he was like, I'm going to drop it. Because obviously he dropped this. This wasn't the Packers. This was him and his agent doing this. And he was able to, take over the whole day of draft day, which is very hard to do. And he gave the Packers very little time to do anything with that information. And then, because he probably knew they weren't going to trade him right away. They were going to try to work something out. And then you lost even more time. Aaron Rodgers has all the leverage again, like you mentioned. So, even if it's not a Denver, that trade with Denver, no matter where he goes, they're not going to get as good as picks as that team will have in this year's draft.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But so one thing, if you guys want some straight up comedy, so go to search up the Purple Daily podcast, and it's Viking guys. I've been on their podcast before, but it's going to be Friday's episode. Listen to the beginning because they open up the intro, which what they call Packers vent line. Basically, they take a radio station of people talking about the news. And oh my God, how quick Packer fans turned on Rodgers. He's such a crybaby, and I hope he never plays for us anyways. I'm like, dude, you're stupid.
He is. He's annoying. He's hard to work with. He's always trying to one up you, but he's also the goddamn MVP, and you need to be fine with that. You need to be like, look at LeBron with the Cavs. He hated Dan Gilbert. Dan Gilbert hated him. You got a championship out of it. You just shut your mouth and you let them play. And that's kind of what I go back to. Like they look what the Bucs did for Tom Brady. You want playoff Lenny, you got him. You want Antonio Brown, you got him. And they treat Aaron Rodgers like he's just a quarterback when he's the star and the face of their franchise, which is I would want out too.
I totally agree. I would want out, but it's so funny how quick Packer fans turned on him. Oh, yeah. Like, dude, they did the same thing with Brett Favre. So they did the same thing with Brett Favre, and then like 4 years ago, they retired his jersey, and it's like, oh, we love Brett. And I'm like, you guys hated him in a Vikings jersey so much. Don't even with this BS. I mean, I already have stuff against Packer fans just as a Vikings fan, but like it was so extra yesterday. Like, he's such a crybaby. I don't want him on the team anyway. I'm like, enjoy Jordan Love then, man.
So what do you think of Jordan Love? Because it's looking like he's the heir to the throne. Like I said, that's the girlfriend they're cheating on Aaron Rodgers with.
That man he wasn't even QB2 yesterday. He was on the practice squad last year. Like, if you're telling me some undrafted quarterback gets QB2 over you, that shows how far back you are in development. I think he can still be talented. I'm not just going to criticize. I think he can still be talented. But I think he's still at least a year or two away, really.
Okay. Yeah.
He was I'm a year away from being a year away. That was what everyone was saying about him.
So you're thinking if they trade Rodgers, it's going to be for a lot of picks and a bridge quarterback? Because they still do have faith in Love to be their future, but they need someone right now like a Teddy Bridgewater, like that, seems to be the perfect bridge quarterback right now.
I think the Packers might also look younger. I think they realized they messed up on Love, and I think they're like, okay, is he even a year away from being a year away? Because if they whiff on Love, like, they're screwed. So I think if he goes to Denver, Locke is going to Green Bay. I think Denver's okay with giving up the young quarterback for.
I think they are too.
Well, yeah, and I know they don't like Locke and stuff, but like, you're giving up a very young quarterback taken early, but you're gonna get maybe 3 years of Rodgers and Super Bowl contenders.
Well, yeah, the thing with Denver and Locke is that as a Bronco fan, I watched every game. It's a lot easier to watch every football game than every basketball game. So I watched every Bronco game last year. Locke does not try in the first 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter, he lights it up, which is not normally something a young quarterback runs into. So it's all an effort thing. So that's why even if we don't get Rodgers, I'm still confident that Locke can pull his head out of his you-know-what, just because they get Teddy Bridgewater to kind of challenge him there. And if he can't, I like Teddy Bridgewater as well. So I think Broncos are in a pretty good spot right now.
So, yeah, there were also other rumors. I don't know if I sent them to you in the group chat, but before the draft started, it said if the Broncos take a third QB, Locke is going to be the odd man out, not Bridgewater. And it was the Vikings and another team would be interested in Drew Lock. I still have faith in the guy. I know he had a real bad season. I still like Drew Lock. I love Teddy, though. I think it will be Teddy to start the year. But, I mean, I think Drew Lock still has a lot of potential. I'm not throwing him away just yet. Like, just because he doesn't hit his first 2 years, like, that's a new thing with quarterbacks. Like, it used to be 3-4 years. So I still have faith in him to be a good QB. Do you think he could still be a quality starter?
I definitely do. I don't think he'll be a quality starter. I think he'll either have star potential or he'll fizzle out. Just because he's such a sort of high octane player. Like he's not going to just be middle of the road. He's going to be because he makes these big plays, and if he makes those big plays, he'll be a star. If he keeps continuing to struggle to make those big plays, he will be out of the league. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just looking at updates, seeing if there's anything on the draft real quick.
Oh, you're chilling.
Nothing. Just about,
at least one of us is.
Just about some new Cardinals wide receiver and how much he can squat. Whatever.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's 600 pounds is what he can squat.
I've been working out too. I'm almost there.
Anyway, so we're gonna monitor this Rodgers situation. So right now, first question: does he play in Green Bay?
Week 1?
No. So week 1, does he play with the Pack? Week 1, is he on the Packers roster?
No. I think I believe if he's still on the roster, he will play. I don't think he'll sit out. Because I think there's a tad of it that's a bluff, because I think he might just go, oh, whatever. I tried my very hardest. I can't get out of Green Bay. I'll play. And then he'll leave in free agency. But I think Packers definitely fall for the bluff, and they will trade him. I also just realized Deshaun Watson's still a Texan. I don't know what's going on there. We will talk about that on a different podcast, but that reminded me that. Interesting.
I want to get more detail. Yeah, I want to get more details on what's going on with him before I really talk about it, because, I mean, if the accusations are true like that,
it's a very sensitive situation, yeah.
Exactly, which is why I haven't brought it up. For those of you wondering, that's why I haven't brought it up. So with me, Rodgers, I can see where maybe he's bluffing, but also Aaron Rodgers is a very petty person. Mm-hmm. He'll say, fuck you, I can go do Jeopardy. Like, straight up, and he'll do it. Like, if there was a quarterback to bet on doing something like this, it's Aaron Rodgers, because he's just so petty. So I think what do you think is more likely? He is on the Packers roster, or he retires? Do you think he retires, or do you think he's traded? I'll say that.
I put the retirement standpoint at the very, very bottom. I think that's bottom of the stack. And then I put traded, and then I put on the roster.
Okay, I would agree with that. I would say he's going to wait to see if a trade happens. And I think when it's like, hey, time to report for training camp, he's going to be like, you're not going to trade me? Okay, I'm not going to show up to training camp. I'm not going to play in the preseason. You can trade me, or I'm going to retire. And then I think it's going to be like, if nothing happens, then he'll retire and just do Jeopardy, maybe.
So you have him retiring over starting week 1 for the Packers?
Yes. I don't think he's...
Wow. I put that, like, him retiring at 0, him being traded at 50, and him playing at 50, just because it's very complicated.
So the only reason I really think that's a more possibility than him stepping on the field is it's not about money. That's not his issue, because they were like, hey, let's give you a contract extension. He's like, I don't need your money. What I need you to do is listen to what I need. And the Packers aren't going to do that, because they didn't trade for Will Fuller at the trade deadline. They didn't make the moves they needed to. They never have drafted the personnel for Rodgers. So I think he's just tired. He's done. And he's just like, you know what? I can go do Jeopardy, not get hit, and I'll still make a good money. And he's fine with that. And then, maybe in a year or two, he's like, all right, I'll play one more season, but not with you guys. And he'll do a grand finale after Brady retires, he'll go to Tampa Bay.
Possibly. I mean, he's a petty person. You got that right. That's the main thing you should take out of the situation in the last 16 years of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
Yes. So now we'll get into what happened with the draft. So first pick, not surprising, Trevor Lawrence goes to the Jags. Second pick, Zach Wilson to the Jets. I knew that was going to be the pick. I don't like it. I thought they should have kept Darnold and drafted Jamar Chase. But the Jets, because it's a recycle, every 3 years they're getting a new quarterback. Like, okay, at one point, how about you keep a quarterback and, like, maybe get him weapons? Woo.
Well, it seems that's what they're doing now.
Okay, it only took them 10 years. It took them since Mark Sanchez to figure it out. Man, but
I mean, as far as quick thoughts on him, I mean, as I'm a big Darnold guy, I think he'll be great for the Panthers.
I agree.
But I think he kind of overstayed his welcome there. I don't think that Jets marriage was going to work after they let him get hit repeatedly and did nothing for him for the first 4 years of his career. Like, he's just upset. Just get him out of there. And at least they took responsibility for it in 2 ways. They, one, when they traded Darnold, they said, we did not give him any way to succeed, like, at all. We failed Darnold, and he'll do good for the Panthers. And 2, they got their new quarterback a few weapons in the draft already. So
they did, so today they drafted Elijah Moore, he's the best receiver left.
Josh loves Elijah Moore.
He's good. I like
Josh
him.
Rose,
he's good. Yeah, he's good. I like him a lot. Sorry, just quick thoughts. Zach Wilson. Do you like Zach Wilson? Yeah.
Very attractive family. All of them. Like that was my favorite part of the draft. I turned it on. I saw Trevor Lawrence got married, and I saw Zach Wilson's beautiful family.
Oh my
But
God.
I mean, besides that, I think he. I mean, I don't know because spoiler alert: Trey Lance is my second favorite quarterback in this draft. Obviously, Trevor's first. I like Trey Lance a lot. But I do have I think it's a 2 quarterback draft, like as far as star potential. I think he'll be solid. And I think especially with Saleh, I think he'll be very good. And as long as they give him what he needs to be, he'll definitely be a starter in this league for 15 years.
No, I agree. And so I'll just say this, Jets fans don't expect anything year one. He is super raw. He's super raw. Like he got cooked by Coastal Carolina. Like So but I mean,
and that was probably the best team they played when he played for BYU.
Yes. Yeah. So I think he can be good. Give him 2 years, I would say.
His sophomore year or his junior year is when he's
his junior year.
Okay, his junior year is when he's going to pop off.
Developing that third year, kind of like Drew Lock, that third year, that's where you're going to see that
Is it safe to do that then? Because they're not going to be a good squad, so he's going to spend 2 years getting chewed up by the New York media and hit because they have no O-line.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like.
If you're going to take a mid quarterback, you got to make sure you got to give him to like a Dolphin situation, like Tua is, where like the team is already set there. They're just got to find a quarterback now.
If they wanted a quarterback to win now, they should have drafted Fields. He has 3 years of college experience, same as Lawrence. And so, I mean, my second favorite, yours is Lance, mine is Fields. I mean, I do have some Ohio State bias. I really like Trey Lance. Out of these 5 quarterbacks, Wilson's my 4th. And then obviously I think Mac is everyone's 5th.
Well, not anymore. He's a Pat, so who knows? He might be the best quarterback in this draft.
I don't know. He had the same walk as Bill Belichick. Like, whoa.
Oh my God. I mean, he was excited. Like, we'll get to him, but you see him in the draft, he was pumped.
Dude, and we'll talk about Fields as well. But so Trey Lance goes 3rd to the 49ers. They didn't screw this up. They went with Trey Lance. Yeah. So we haven't really seen him since 2019. He played 1 game in 2020 because of COVID. But what I've heard about him is the dude is like ridiculous smart. Like the man, he lives, breathes, and loves football, and he's smart. Which those are 2 great qualities, and those are things you can't teach. And we'll talk about things that can and can't be taught in football. But like that's something you can't teach, is being that smart and that. Oh, his awareness is really good too, as well.
Well, yeah. So me and you agree with that one. You can't teach like instincts and awareness and stuff. And we'll get to the joke I made later, as far as stuff you can't teach. But taking the smartest quarterback in the draft is always a great thing, especially when he has the legs of Lamar Jackson. So I mean, I know his throwing can use a little bit of help, but he's still no slouch in that regard either. So that's why he seems like a very well-rounded quarterback. And he fits this league perfectly because of, every quarterback now is at least a little bit mobile. And you got Shanahan, who can build any offense you want. And this player isn't like the Matt Ryans, who got sacked and they can't take a field goal now in the Super Bowl. This player isn't like Jimmy Garoppolo, who can't get out of the pocket and get a first down in the Super Bowl. This is Trey Lance, and he can move. Yeah. I think he'll be great.
I think Shanahan's the right offensive coordinator. My hesitation with Shanahan is it's been Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins, and Jimmy G. I think Kirk was the most mobile guy out of those 3.
And that's not a good thing. I think his speed on Madden is 72.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he can run it when he needs to. He did it with the Vikings, but like he's not what you call a mobile quarterback. And so I just hope Shanahan changes the scheming of the offense. Like, don't just change it so where you have designed plays for Lance to roll out and run, because it would. And we're gonna get into Justin Fields because Nagy needs to do the same thing. But I think I believe more in Shanahan than I do in Nagy in that sense.
Both great coaches, but Shanahan obviously.
Both great coaches, but Shanahan is ridiculously smart, and the 49ers have something really good going. And you still have George. You have crazy good weapons, and that elite defense is coming back The Niners look good. So you liked the Trey Lance, obviously.
Yeah. You hit a great point there. You can't, because me and you could do we're gonna do half our normal offense, we throw in the pocket, and then half we'll do stuff Jimmy G can't do. We'll just do read options, this kind of stuff. You got to splice it together because you're a great offensive mind, and you could really catch teams off guard. Especially you're gonna have to in that division, especially with your good defense still as well. Mm-hmm. So this team, I don't know what the situation will be. I don't know if you have better insight as far as is Jimmy G starting week 1? Is he good as gone on the trade block?
I think he's the backup.
You think Trey Lance will be starting week 1?
Yes.
I have no problem with that, but they are kind of in a win now mode because you see, I think them trading up and then getting a quarterback was especially because Shanahan and McVay are kind of rivals by situation, just because 2 young head coaches, 2 great looking guys in that division. And McVay got his quarterback. He got Stafford. So this guy wanted to go get a more dynamic quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo.
So I think Trey Lance helps them win now more than Jimmy Garoppolo does. I mean, I know. Of course, I want to watch him in preseason and start the season, but I think what he can do compared to what Jimmy can't do is a huge difference. And Trey Lance is getting the best offensive line out of any quarterback. I mean, I'm not, day one. He has the best offensive line. Like, he's going to be well protected, which that even helps you more scheme run plays for him. Like, I mean, the 49ers, they are scary with Trey Lance.
Would you say best situation overall of the top 5 quarterbacks picked?
Yes, easily. I love Lawrence to the Jags and with Urban Meyer and everything else the Jags are doing, but they're not going to win the division the first year. Zach Wilson's not going to win. Trey Lance is going to win. Fields, I don't know if he's even starting. And Mac Jones, I don't know, is it him or Cam starting?
No quarterback really got screwed, though, which is good. I would say Zach Wilson, but they are doing their best to give him weapons, and they got Saleh, who's going to be a good coach.
I will agree with that. No quarterback got screwed, which, normally there's at least one.
Look at Burrow last year. He had a tough rookie year.
Well, we'll get into Burrow and what happened there. But at 4, in my opinion, the best non-quarterback player taken at 4, Kyle Pitts. I mean, the things this kid can do. He lines up at tight end. He can line up as a wideout. He's lined up in the slot. What? That's not a tight end thing to do. And this dude, he is like George Kittle on steroids. Like, this guy is going to be good.
We're going to spend less time on this than quarterbacks, and not out of disrespect, but just because I can't put into words what Kyle Pitts can do. Like, exactly. I'm not a huge college guy, but I've known who Kyle Pitts is. Just because he's an absolute monster. And like you said, he lines up in 3 different ways. And I know everyone, the one, he can't block. Well, he can run a 4-second 40-yard dash, so he doesn't need to block.
Exactly. And you draft a second tight end, that's your blocking tight end. Or you pick one up. I think they have Austin Hooper. He can do that.
Hooper's in the Browns now. They lost. Hooper had a great year for the Falcons.
Who do they have? Who was their tight end?
He wasn't a slouch. I don't know if he's blocking either.
He was good. Let me start. I'll search him up, but you keep on going with your point.
Yeah. So as far as Pitts goes, he's just you see him, you're like, that's a wide receiver. Nope, he plays tight end too. And I mean, now he's gonna be probably a top 5 tight end in the league already, just because you're already gonna have to double Julio. Your scheme doubles Julio every single play, and then Ridley will get it going because you double Julio. Now, we got to put more coverage on Ridley, and now you have Kyle Pitts, who is the most raw athletic person in this draft.
And okay, so Hayden Hurst, he's a blocking tight end as well, and
he's got good flow.
He does have good flow, but he's and also they got Cordell Patterson, who okay, so you're going to guard everyone, and then we're going to give it to Patterson. He's going to run.
We're going to send Patterson on a streak down the field every single play. You better keep 2 safeties there.
And honestly, with that division, with the Saints quarterback situation up in the air, Carolina, I like with Darnold and getting CMC back and what they've done. And then obviously you have the Bucs bringing everyone back. Atlanta could sneak into the playoffs. That is a high-powered offense, right?
I think the first podcast I came on here, especially NFL-wise, I said Falcons have the most approved this season as far as the team goes. You had a little, into the offseason questionnaire for me and George.
Yeah, and I remember that.
I was really glad they didn't go quarterback just because they get way too murky. Just because they're paying Matt Ryan, I think $40 million a year. or 35 mil. He's not bad.
He's the highest paid cap hit in the NFL.
Yeah, he's not bad, and you give him Arthur Miller, Arthur Smith or Arthur Miller. I can't remember which one. He's an offensive coach. And Arthur Miller's a coach. He was Arthur Smith. Okay. Death of a salesman. But yeah, I think. What point was I making here? I think they can sneak into the playoffs. I'll end it at that. I got a little sidetracked thinking Arthur Miller, death of a salesman.
I think so too, because Calvin Ridley was an animal. You still got Julio. You're not trading him. I know the rumors. They're not going to trade him. And if they do, you need a defensive star back. Like, the only trade I see going down is Julio Jones for Khalil Mack. Like, that's the only trade
Do you think them getting Pitts gives them a chance to, hey, maybe we trade Julio for some defense?
Yes, I think it does. And then you can say, okay, we'll throw in a different receiver. They have 2 speedsters. They have Patterson and then Russell Gage. Yeah. So then you have 2 speedsters that can line up as your other wide receiver.
And really can be a number 1 in this league. So
yeah, and then you also have, Ridley's going to be the one if Julio gets traded, and then you get Khalil Mack back. Now the defense is a lot better. I would entertain the idea, but I'm okay if they just keep him as well.
I think they keep him, and I think you just go all out offense because the defense, you're not going to, no single trade for Julio is going to shore up your defense unless maybe it is for Khalil Mack. So just go all out on offense, score 40 a night, have some fun, give Atlanta something to cheer for.
Yeah, exactly. No, I love it. So the Bengals at 5. Well, okay, so they went Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU, not Penny Sewell, the 19-year-old offensive tackle from Oregon. So, and we'll talk more about like offensive tackles and stuff in a bit. But so, do you think this was the right pick?
So this was the first. I got the top 5 picks right in like my little mock draft that no one knows because I'm not that good at predicting football, so I kept it to myself. But I did get it right, but I didn't agree with it. I definitely thought they should have went offensive line. It's a lot of fun reuniting Burrow with his old college teammate, but I thought they should have went Sewell. But Jacob Hodges
Slater.
Slater. You know Jacob Hodges, absolute sweetheart. Hodges. He's a big Bengals fan.
Yeah.
And I brought up that you guys should take in an O lineman. He was like, we're set on tackles though, and they need guards and centers. And I didn't really. I kind of just let him have that because I didn't really know like how to disagree with it because maybe he has more pride in their tackles than me. But he said he would like to pick because Slater and Sewell, although Slater can play both tackle positions, which is insane. You don't find that in every draft. He was saying he liked the pick just because they're set on tackles. If there's a guard or a center there, he would have liked that. But he's very happy with the Jamar Chase pick.
So they do have tackles. They aren't high-end tackles by any – like Sewell would come in and compete for the starting job immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think one of their 2 tackles could be a guard as well if I remember correctly. So you could move that thing, or you could easily have moved it around. Okay, the reunited thing, that's cool. Good for them. That's fun. But like, dude, you need to protect. If Joe Burrow gets hurt again, like, you guys are screwed.
Well, yeah, you see that picture of him just posing there in the new uniforms, and you see his goddamn leg, and it's just an absolute atrocity. Like, if he trips over a rock on his way to practice, you may need to find a new quarterback for your Cincinnati Bengals. Like, he's a very fragile man, and he showed so much promise in that first year, especially, he wasn't crying. Like, as I mentioned, he got screwed going first overall. And he held his head high, and he took pride in playing for the Bengals, and not a lot of players do. So protecting him should be the A1 thing. But
exactly.
It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun with him getting reunited with his wide receivers. So I'm not too picky about it. As long as you got his blessing, as long as you went to Joe Burrow and said, hey, you're our investment for the next 15 years. Do you want an O-lineman or do you want your best friend? And if whatever Burrow, he picked and you gave him.
Exactly. If Burrow said, I want take Chase, okay, then we can't really criticize because that's what Burrow wanted. And if Burrow gets hurt, now it's on him because he's the one who didn't want the offensive lineman.
Still sucks, but you get to say I told you so.
Exactly. But the wide receiver depth is pretty good for them. I mean, now you have T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and now Jamar Chase. He's going to have some boys to throw it to. Their defense.
Money Mixon in the backfield.
Yep. I love Joe Mixon. I'm telling you, he's the ultimate guy to get in Madden, dude. Like franchise mode, that dude bursts up to a 99 like no other. You know it's true.
I know it's true.
But they're gonna be like Atlanta, great offense, defense is a big old wah.
Next year's draft, go get some defensive players. Or today, in second and third round, get defense, please.
Yeah, I'm going to, as we go on, I'm going to just take a quick look to see if any of the QBs have gone off yet. There's the three left. There's Davis from Stanford, Kellen Mond, who's my favorite, and Kyle Trask. I like Kyle Trask. I don't know. I think he, like, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like him at all. And I'm like, I would take him as a backup quarterback any day of the week.
Did he go to a big school?
Florida.
Okay. Because I know there's a recent thing, big school bias, where they're like, I don't want big school players. There's this, there's that, there's this. But I guess Clemson doesn't count because
I guess
they pick and choose who counts and who doesn't. But.
Wow. So the second round's almost over. They're at the 60th pick. No quarterbacks yet. Oh, the Vikings are sitting at 66. I want them to take another offensive lineman. And personally, for Minnesota, take an offensive guard or even a tackle and move one of our tackles to guards. Probably Brian O'Neill, not Darrison. And then I want him to take a backup quarterback. We actually don't have one on our that's why me and George in the group chat were so onto this Fields thing. And Minnesota reporters said they tried to trade up to 7 to take him. But
see, I have a lot of Vikings questions for you when we get to their pick, but I got to give you kudos because I haven't listened to the show of like 2 months ago before Fields was falling. Like Fields was supposed to go number 3, especially after the Niners traded up to get him. You were like asking George, you were like, what if like Fields falls was at 14? Like, do we take him? Us being the Vikings, and I was like, there's no way. How would he fall to 14? He's Justin Fields. He's going to go top 3. They're considered the second best quarterback in the draft. And then like everything starts happening. Oh, Fields is this, Fields is that. He has seizures. For some reason, people were like getting upset about that when he's obviously a great quarterback.
When it's never affected him on the field, but that's fine.
I just want to give you props for predicting the unfair fall that he had. Because there's no way he should not have gone that low. He shouldn't have. It was blatant disrespect. It was driving me crazy. But props.
So the rumors were they tried to trade up to 7. The Lions wanted the next year's first round pick, which I think is a lot. I'm surprised they couldn't get a deal done with Dallas to move up from 14 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
But oh well, I'm happy with who he picked. I would have liked Fields, but draft someone to back up Kirk this year. My thought, but we're not at the Vikings just yet.
Not
we're
yet.
At number 6, where the Dolphins, they went Jalen Waddle. They didn't go Penei Sewell. Did you like the Waddle pick for Tua?
Yeah, because I mean, this isn't my idea. A lot of people have said this, but by Thanksgiving if Tua's your guy because you got a good defense, you got a good coach, and now you give him weapons. And I was really getting concerned when the offensive lineman kept falling. We'll get to the next pick when Penei Sewell was ultimately taken. But you pair him with Will Fuller. They still have Devontae Parker. You got this guy some weapons. They have a very solid tight end. Not much here. I have Waddle as I think my wide receivers are as they were taken. I'm big on Chase, then I like Waddle, and I also like Smith. So I don't think Smith will be a bum. I think people are taking weight. And you're not deadlifting to see who wins the game. You're seeing who can run and catch the ball to win the game. Yeah. So he contributes in other ways than just being an absolute like monster, like people like Kyle Pitts make their money on. So I don't know why the Smith hate is there. But I like the Waddle pick. Yeah,
so so I like the Waddle pick. As a prospect, I think I like Devontae Smith because I think he has more explosiveness, and Waddle did deal with that ankle surgery injury that he had. So, but here's where I think Miami was thinking. They want to get to a security blanket, someone he's familiar with. So Devontae Smith wasn't Devontae Smith when Tua was there. Jalen Waddle was still he was there. Yeah. So it's like, okay, that's Tua played with him. He played with Devontae Smith, but they didn't have like that boom connection. Him and Waddle played well together. That's going to be his security blanket, and I think it's going to do a lot for Tua, which I did not understand. Like, hey, maybe he's gone next year, and I'm like, dude, give this guy more than a season to play.
Do you believe in Tua, or do you just not believe in giving him such a short leash?
I believe in Tua. So I don't believe in giving him such a short leash. I am always on the side of give him a little bit longer. In some cases, Trubisky was a different sort of case.
The MVP.
We'll talk about him really quickly when we get to Justin Fields. But so yes, I think people have short leashes now that you see Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, these types of guys coming out, Kyler Murray's. You want them to bang year one. It's like, no, maybe how about you give them a few years to develop, and maybe in 3 years they are that boom pick and it still looks good.
Well, it's very tough to do that when people like Justin Herbert are ruining it for everyone else. And players like Patrick Mahomes are stepping in their first 5 starts, they break records.
I agree.
And that's why, I mean, yeah, I'm with you. I'm not like sold on Tua, but I'm sold on giving players more than half a year.
If he plays awful this year, okay, all right, because he has the weapons now.
Then last year was a wash just because like he shouldn't have even really been starting. Like Fitzpatrick was playing great for them. I was very upset when they benched Fitzmagic, and I know a lot of the players were. So like it was just a weird season there. Give Tua a full season. And just see what he does. And giving him these weapons will really show what you got with Tua, because, like I said, that Dolphin situation is perfect for any quarterback to plug and play there.
Yeah. So the next pick was Panay Sewell. Great pick for the Lions. I don't really think we need great pick for the Lions.
I mean, yeah, you need to give Jared Goff some kind of help, and it was either. I guess Lions at the same draft board as I did, where they have those 2 wide receivers ahead of Smith, and because I thought they were either going wide receiver to help Jared Goff down the field.
Yep.
But they also went offense to get Penei Sewell, who's going to be probably a 12-time Pro Bowler. If he stays healthy, he's just a surefire thing in this draft. And Jared Goff, the research has been done by the nerds. He just does not throw good under pressure, and when he's not under pressure, he's an all-pro quarterback. So if you want to get anything out of Jared Goff and you're paying him this much money, because I think he's more than a bridge quarterback. He's still young. Maybe you got some with him in Detroit. You keep drafting these players. You got a decent backfield. Just give Goff some sort of don't give him a horrible time because he's been a good sport about moving from LA to Detroit. So just at least give him some sort of help, and they did with Penei Sewell. He'll stay up on his feet a little bit more.
Yep. So the 10 pick, Carolina went J.C. Horn, first cornerback taken. He was rising a lot. I did not expect him to go over Surtain. So I messed it up. I thought the Panthers were taking Surtain. I was like, he's not falling to Dallas. He's not gonna fall, because every mock was Surtain to Dallas, Surtain to Dallas, Surtain to Dallas. I was like, it's not gonna happen, bro. It's not gonna happen, and it didn't. But I want to talk about the 9 pick. Did you have anything to say about J.C. Horn?
I have J.C. Horn and Surtain kind of deadlocked. It's just what you need as far as talent goes. I think they're both great. I had you guys kind of do some. I'll kind of regurgitate what I was told in the group chat. He's just a monster in coverage, and I watched like a little hype tape of him. He really is an absolute insane monster in coverage, and he'll get up in your face, which is something you need in like modern day cornerbacks. You know, trash talk, be physical, and stuff like that. And I mean, I think they had to go defense there just because they have a decent offensive line, top 3 running back. They found their quarterback, got enough wide receivers, so you got to go defense there. First defensive player off the board.
Yes, he was. And then 9 pick, Patrick Surtain. He goes to Denver. I love this pick for them. I mean, you're with Justin Simmons, Nick Chubb.
We just got Fuller.
Bradley Chubb, sorry.
Yeah.
And you don't have Von Miller anymore, but that's okay. And the offensive weapons, other than quarterback, I still think you'll be fine. But the offensive weapons, like, holy crap, this team, they're good.
Well, that's why we don't really need a crazy quarterback. Like, we could just have Teddy Bridgewater because we have all these weapons, just someone who's going to use them decently. And I think both Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore got 1,000 yards last year. And we kind of have that with Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, a smaller, Cortland Sutton was kind of like Robbie Anderson. Then you got Jerry Jeudy, who's a great route runner like DJ Moore. So I think I'm not a huge Melvin Gordon fan, but at least the Broncos kind of shored up. Like, we had 3 running backs getting touches last year, and Freeman and Lindsey and Gordon. Gordon's number 1 guy. And I think Broncos can make some noise this year, especially going back. I don't think they'll get Rodgers, but if they do,
I'll just quickly say my 2 cents about it. I think it's a great pick. I think Teddy should be this. You just need an accurate quarterback. With those weapons, you just need someone who throws accurately, and that's Teddy, in my opinion. Teddy's very accurate, and if you want, Drew Lock is going to be the deep ball. I'm gonna risk it. Teddy's very safe. He's very accurate. So I think he's the perfect quarterback to start with them.
I do want to say that. How come you said Broncos don't have Von Miller anymore?
I believe he got released.
I don't believe so. I double checked to make sure I wasn't being a fake fan, but it said he was excited about Patrick Surtain. So
Okay,
I
well,
believe
maybe they brought him back. There were some allegations or something about him going on. I remember that was a little while ago. Huh? Maybe he okay.
I believe he's still on the roster. You
I
scared
remember,
me there for a second. I was
I,
like,
believe, I thought they
we only
cut.
have Chubb.
I think they cut him and then re-signed him to a different deal. Maybe I don't know. I
Maybe.
remember that being a thing. Hang on, I'm gonna search it up because I unless I dreamed this, I swear he was gone.
Well, yeah. As far as being a Broncos fan and looking at mock drafts and stuff, I wanted Surtain, and then I wanted a offensive lineman if Slater or Sewell fell to us. And then I wanted to trade the pick, and then it was take a quarterback, just because I think this isn't really the year we need to get a quarterback. We don't really get the drafted quarterbacks right. Look at Trevor Siemian and look at Paxton Lynch. So I was very excited that we went defense on this one.
Yeah. There were talks of him being cut, but it turned into a renegotiated contract. Okay.
Broncos have Chubb and Vaughn on linebackers, and they got Fuller and Surtain at corner, and then they got Justin Simmons at safety.
That's
it's looking pretty. The Broncos D line is decent. It's nothing crazy like how the Orange Crush defense was in the 2016 Super Bowl. It's serviceable.
It's good, and your offense can honestly, with those wide receiver weapons, your offense can compete with Kansas City. I legit think they can go toe to toe with Kansas City, and I like Denver's defense over Kansas City's.
Do you have Kansas City over Denver next year? Is that what you're telling me? I don't, as a Broncos fan.
No. So I think Kansas City, but I'm saying in a head-to-head game. I'm saying in head-to-head.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
No. I'm not. No, I ain't doing division predictions yet. I ain't doing
Noah
that.
Fant, baby. Noah
Fant. I love me Noah Fant. But yeah, I think head-to-head, not division. Head-to-head. With the 10th pick, the Dallas Cowboys traded to the arch rival Philadelphia Eagles in what made zero sense. It made 0 cents. And then the Eagles took Devontae Smith. That was the obvious pick. And I mean, yeah, I could have fun in Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts.
So do you think it was weird as far as the trade goes? Do you think it was weird because they traded division rivals or just because you feel like nothing got done?
Division rivals.
Yeah, I think that was very weird too. I think it was good for Dallas just because they wanted defense and 2 corners came off the board, and they were like, we can get Parsons at 12. So let's try and move back. And I think it was just to the highest bidder who's going to do it. And yeah, Eagles moving up 2 spots to get Smith. I guess they really, really like him. He did play with Hurts, right?
Yeah, technically they played together.
Okay, so they know each other, but that on-field chemistry isn't there. But they are familiar with each other.
It's not Jamar Chase and Burrow.
That's for sure. Yeah,
and it's not Tua and Waddle.
Yeah, he should be good. And
I think he'll be good.
I don't see no reason you shouldn't go all in on Hurts for at least this year to see what you have with him. For once, just have a normal season for Philly. Like you have a quarterback who you drafted last year for obvious reasons. You started him last year over Carson Wentz. At least give him somewhat of a chance. Don't make it weird and draft. There was rumors they might go quarterback. I was like, for the love of God, don't do that. Just give Hurts some kind of thing. Get him a decent backup that can mentor him. And I like the pick going offense for him.
Yeah, my one thing was I thought Dallas. I mean, even if Dallas drafted Devontae Smith, I know that sounds outlandish, but I think Amari Cooper is gone at the end of the season because they're going to be paying Dak a shit ton of money. You're going to need to pay CeeDee Lamb, and Amari's expensive and of a guy. I don't think he's not Amari Cooper of Oakland right now.
I think the odd man out is Gallup. I think they trade Gallup at the deadline or so.
I like Gallup more than Cooper, though.
You do? Okay, wow.
Consistency
wise, but Cooper's a top 10 wide receiver in the league.
Except for he's inconsistent. And if you put a good corner on him, he has this Odell effect. Remember when Odell got locked up by Xavier Rhodes?
Yeah.
Okay. He has the same effect. A good corner gets in his head so fast. Like Gallup, it doesn't happen. And I know he doesn't normally go against the best corner, but there were times Jalen Ramsey and some of those top corners lined up against Gallup, and Gallup held his own. It's just Cooper gets flustered in those situations.
So we differ there, yeah. But as far for Dallas, I like the trade there, and we'll talk about their pick a little later.
Yeah, and so then it was 11. The Giants, they made the trade with the Bears. They moved back to 20, got some other compensation. Bears move up, take their quarterback, Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State. So here's where I'll say my 2 cents about Justin Fields.
Give me more than 2 cents. You're the Justin Fields guy.
Okay, so Justin Fields, I think he's the second best quarterback in this draft. He has 3 years of college experience. It's Lawrence and Fields, and then it's Lance, Wilson, Jones. in my opinion.
Okay.
I think Lance can be better than Fields with the situations they ended up in, because I hope Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace learned from their mistake with Mitch Trubisky. You traded up for an athletic quarterback, and you never let him run or gave him situations to run. So I don't blame Mitch Trubisky. I blame the play calling and the play design and the scheme for him. So I hope they go back, redo their offense, kind of like what San Francisco is going to do with Lance. Make plays for Fields to run. Don't make the same mistake you did with Trubisky. I think Fields is more accurate than Trubisky, obviously. I think he's the second most accurate deep ball passer in the draft. If you just search up Justin Fields deep throws, he throws a very pretty deep ball, and it's spot on accuracy. So they're getting a great franchise quarterback as long as Pace and Nagy use him correctly.
Yeah, so you hit it on the nose there. Until I started paying top dollar for NFL Red Zone, I did not know that Mitch Trubisky had that athleticism, because they didn't give him a chance to show it. And until I started seeing these little glimpses on Sunday afternoons of Mitch Trubisky being able to escape the pocket and do that. And yeah, you hit it right there on the nose. You need to give Fields the chance to do that, because he has all the talent in the world. He went to a good college, held his own, and you basically have every point there. I think the pick was great. I think they're trading up. Matt Nagy's a good coach to get their guy. And I think they reap the benefits of Justin Fields unfairly falling this far.
Yeah, I agree. Quickly, I'll say I think he has some of the best pocket awareness out of any of the quarterbacks. Like, I'd put him and Lawrence are like neck and neck. He really can read a pocket while looking downfield so well. And his one legit criticism, which is criticism to a point, is he holds the ball sometimes a little bit too long on deep passes. And it's most of the time he was wide open right here, but he waited 2 extra seconds and he was even more wide open. So that's his only criticism, really, is he holds the ball sometimes on deep passes.
Fair enough.
So Chicago's getting a good quarterback. But then at 12, it was Dallas, linebacker Micah Parsons. That man is going to kill somebody on the field. Holy crap. The guy he is a lot like Anthony Barr. I think he plays edge. He can play linebacker. Like, the dude can. Him and Van Der Esch are going to be a nice combo for a season. I guess rumors are they're not going to pick up Van Der Esch's 5th-year option because they don't want to pay him.
Yeah, if he could stay healthy, it'd be great to pick him up. But he had that really good year, and now he cannot stay healthy. And I like Van Der Esch, but I think Micah Parsons is really, really good.
I do too. And concussion issues are the only thing with him. Or wait, no, not him. Phillips is the concussion guy. He opted out because of COVID. He opted out because of COVID. So they just didn't have any film on him this year. But he's great. He's talented. 13, the Chargers, Rashawn Slater. He is my number 2 offensive lineman in the draft. We'll talk offensive line in like 5 minutes ish, maybe less than that. And I'll give you my everything kind of I've found out about it. But Slater, Chargers are getting a great guy. They're protecting Herbert. I like the Chargers roster a lot.
Yeah, they beefed up they didn't need an offensive lineman. Like, they addressed it in free agency. And now they get another one who can play either tackle, which is good since you have already a good line. You can move him around and stuff. And yeah, you get a young quarterback, you protect him. I think this was an A+. Like, I don't know how he fell this far.
I don't know.
You look at it and you're like, okay, teams were drafting for need and stuff, but then Chargers were like, we're gonna put our head on straight. We're just gonna draft the best available. We have a star quarterback. We don't really have any aching needs that, especially. I mean, they could help their defense up once Parsons was gone. Like, there's no one screaming after Parsons in those 2 cornerbacks. So just take the best player available, help your quarterback out. There's not much to say just because it was such a good pick.
Okay, so just an update. They're on pick 64. No quarterbacks yet.
Wow.
Mond was supposed to be 2nd round. I believe he was supposed to be
the Vikings have the 66th pick, and you want them to take Mond.
They're at 66. So they have 66 and 78. I'm okay if you take an offensive line at 66 and you take Trask at 78 because Mond will probably be gone by then.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I just don't want the guy from Stanford. And it's the Buccaneers at 64. So I don't know if they're going to take a quarterback. I don't know though. But anyway, just a draft update there for you guys. And so Slater, great pick for the Chargers. Then the Vikings, they move back 9 spots. The Jets trade up, take Elijah Vera Tucker, my favorite offensive lineman in the draft. He is. And I'll tell you why in a second. But the Vikings get 3 picks in return, including 66, which they're about to choose their player in 10 minutes. So, do you want to hear my offensive line breakdown right now?
Sure. I'll just throw my 2 cents in. I think this was the help I was talking about, them getting their new young quarterback. You're helping protect him. And also, these are the picks that are supposed to be used to trade for Deshaun Watson before that whole thing happened. So they're using all that war chest of picks to kind of trade up and get a play that can help them win now, instead of doing their research in the later rounds. So besides that, let me hear your breakdown of offensive linemen.
Okay, so here's my break. Okay, so Vikings, they end up trading back to 23. They take Christian Darrisaw, who was their guy they wanted. He was projected to go to them at 14, fell to 23, and gained the draft capital they wanted. So here's my offensive line breakdown. So Slater's 1. That dude is all pro. Or sorry, I keep on getting mixed up. Vera Tucker's 1. No, Vera Tucker's 1.
Oh,
okay. So I'm talking right now, ready now.
Okay.
Sewell is 19. I think
he's our age.
Exactly. But so my thing is, I think he's still going to be good, but in 3 years he's going to be elite. Like, we're talking Quentin Nelson elite. Like, he's going to be that. So, but I'm talking week 1 talent. So Vera Tucker 1, Slater 2, Sewell 3, and then I have Darrisaw 4. But so here's why I liked the Darrisaw pick for Minnesota. Minnesota sucks at pass protection, and he's the opposite of everyone else on the offensive line, which I like because their offensive line sucks. The Vikings for the past 3-4 years are, let's take the athletic offensive line, the agile guy, and they just get burned because they bite on the first move. So this year they take Darrisaw, the big power guy who will just eat your guy into the ground, that guy. And I'm like, that's the guy the Vikings have needed, is that eat your guy. So Vera Tucker out of 1, his criticism is he has short arms.
He's got T-Rex arms.
Yes. Okay. And I understand that for an offensive tackle. Okay. You have short arms, but he makes up for it. And this is where, okay. So I kind of texted you about technique, and I'm sure it was a joke, but I said, you can't teach good technique. And you said, oh yes, you can. So here's what I mean by, and I don't know if you're joking or not, whether you are, I want to talk about offensive line technique. So Quentin Nelson, he got drafted 6th overall, or was it 4th or 6th overall by Indianapolis. Aaron's like, oh my God, why are you taking this guy so early? It's like, because he's going to be the best offensive lineman in 2 years. And he is.
Yeah.
And his thing was, he has perfect technique. So the Vikings take Garrett Bradberry in the same draft at, I think, 19 or 20. And his thing is, he is agile, but his technique needs work. And we are 3 years into Garrett Bradberry at center, and his technique is still so bad. So where I say about it is, technique can be taught, but not with athletic guys. With people who are big power guys, you can teach them technique because they're slower, so they have more. Athletic guys, they are known to have crappy technique, which is an issue. So, Slater has great technique. Sewell, his technique is pretty good for 19, and it's only going to get better. I think he already has good technique, and he's 19, so it's just going to develop more. He's not like some of the other offensive linemen who are 23, 24 years old, where you already need to be developed at technique. Vera Tucker has the best technique in the draft, and that is because of his short arms. What makes up for him having T-Rex arms is the dude has spot-on technique, like hands down, very good technique. So that's why I like Vera Tucker, is he can play 2 positions at an elite level, and he has excellent technique. So you don't need to teach him that. his one like criticism is sometimes when people get him on the left shoulder, he sometimes will like give up on the play. But I think that's something that you can just be coached into. That's not a technique issue. That's a work ethic issue, which I think can be taught at an NFL level. Also, sometimes he's late off the snap, but I think that's actually like a USC thing because every offensive lineman on USC is late off the snap. So that's why Veritek is my favorite. I want to talk about Darisaw because I don't want to like just give him all praise. I do want to criticize him. He has things he needs to work on. So he's a great pass protector. His run protecting is okay to good. But everyone else on our offensive line is good on running, crappy on passing. So I think it's okay. He has the same thing as Vera Tucker where he gives up on plays and you can find film of him. He'll find his guy, block him for a few seconds on run plays. This is only on run plays.
Yeah.
He'll block his guy for a second, then let go and move to the second level too fast. And the guy he was blocking ends up making the tackle from the running back because he cuts back or something. So when running backs cut back and stuff and kind of change the play, he gets lost. Like he looks like lost on the field, which I think that's something that can be taught. I mean, it is a concern, but with the positives, I'm okay with him. Do you have any questions for me?
I mean, I have a job well done. I feel like I learned a lot. I feel like I just did the spark notes of the whole draft as far as offensive linemen go. But besides that, I mean, yeah, I just hope that can be taught because Dalvin Cook is a very elusive running back, so he's gonna have to. And I'm just excited. I know you're on board with taking offensive linemen. I guess Zimmer is as well because they took one.
Yeah.
So
I was just glad they didn't go defensive line. I would have been pissed if they went edge. I would have been pissed.
Yeah. Because I'm excited to see what Dalvin Cook can do with a good O-line honestly Kirk Cousins too because he's no slouch.
He's our biggest offensive lineman. I'm not even joking. He's our now biggest offensive lineman height and weight wise. So this guy also one thing, he's given up 0 sacks and 6 pressures in 3 years of college. So his thing also one other criticism I just want to bring up about Darisaw just so like because he's so big and powerful, the very fast linemen, the Aaron Donalds who no one can stop, let's be honest, but the very fast linemen he has trouble with because they just kind of blow past him. And where I give Veritek credit is he has such good technique. They'll blow past him and he'll still get into position. That's what Vera Tucker does. Like the Jets got a steal with him, in my opinion. I think Darisaw was a steal for the Vikings. But when the fast guys are on his side, that's where he's going to have issues. That's something I think like that's just what you're going to have to give up to get someone who's so powerful. But if you get like the bigger, the big fat boy offensive lineman, he's like an immovable object there. Like he is so good with his hands and stuff. Like he plants his feet into the ground and like you're not moving this object right here. So that's what you're getting in him, which I really like for Minnesota.
Yeah, I think that was really good. And then just to end off the whole thing,
sorry. Vikings drafted quarterback Helen Monda at 66.
So you're a happy boy, aren't you?
Okay. There's Kirk's backup.
And then
he's mobile. He's a mobile quarterback.
So what is the timetable as far? Is he a year away from being a year away, or is he more NFL ready? When do you see him kind of because they drafted him for a reason? When do you see him kind of taking over the mantle, or being capable to? So we don't have to guess what they're going to do with Kirk Cousins. When will he be capable to?
I think they see how he does in preseason, how he does at the NFL level. I think he's going to be QB2 for Minnesota. What I'll say about Kirk is next year his cap hit is $40 million, and he is not restructuring his contract. He's going to be tied with Matt Ryan as the highest paid
money
quarterback.
Man.
So I think if you feel like Mond is somewhat ready, you got to think you have great offensive weapons. You have Thielen, you have Jefferson, Irv Smith is a underrated good tight end, and you have Dalvin Cook. So Mond doesn't need to be, in my opinion, he doesn't need to be fully developed and perfect at a year from now. If a year from now you can say, hey, he can start some games, and I think he'll get better as time goes on. He just needs the experience. I think you look to move Kirk, cut him, get rid of that cap hit, because now all of a sudden, oh, there goes the cap is all the way down for Minnesota. You're on a rookie contract with the quarterback for the next 4 years. Well, it's 5 years, but after a year, it'll be 4 years. And hey, let's invest in another power offensive lineman to help this kid out. And you can look at other things to do. So that's my hope. Realistically, it'll be 2 years after Kirk's contract is up.
So do you think he is the type where, Kirk is playing bad, let's toss him in there? Or do you think Kirk is okay? So Kirk's there's not a quarterback battle, but Kirk's got to kind of be on his toes a little bit because he will get benched. Unlike last year,
starts the year the way he did last season, which he started out with like 11 picks in the first 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then he cleaned it up. If he starts off the season the same way, they're putting Monda in week 3. They will put him in quick because I think this is now Kirk says, okay, there's a leash on me. I need to show my elite talent like I did in Washington. So I think this actually helps Kirk. And I really like that pick because he's a good thrower, but he's mobile. I love mobile quarterbacks, and Minnesota's never had one. I mean, unless we're going to call rookie Teddy mobile.
Not since Culpepper.
Really, seriously, Culpepper was the last mobile guy. So I mean, breaking news, but I love that.
Kirk is going to win MVP now, right? Because you draft a quarterback
and
put him behind someone who has kind of been running through the motions the past few years. They win MVP. Just talk to Aaron Rodgers, but yeah, I mean, if you like it, I'm sure it's good. You do your Vikings work.
I mean, so here's his quick thing. Over 9,000 passing yards, 1,500 rushing yards as a quarterback. So I like the pick for Minnesota. So yeah, that's a good quarterback right there. Yeah. He'll be QB2 for the Vikings. But I think we're an hour into this, so I think we're gonna start wrapping this one up.
Why so soon?
So I want to go over all the like wide receiver quarterback combos that are now like college teammates and now regular teammates.
Do you want to cover Mac Jones a little bit?
Oh yeah, sorry, I totally got lost.
Okay.
So
I don't have too much to say on it, but I want to make sure you remember that we didn't cover Mac Jones yet.
Yeah, give me your thoughts on Mac. I'll start with you, Mac Jones.
I mean, Patriots overweight white guy. I mean, he can recreate the Brady draft combine pick. I mean, they look eerily similar. And yeah, like I mentioned, he just seems pumped to go there. And Belichick loves these Alabama guys. A lot of he normally drafts high on defense because you've had Tom Brady there, so you haven't really had to do much on offense. But like Donta Hightower, Alabama guy, and I mean, I think he likes them just because he knows that they can be coached hard. And if there's one thing Belichick does, he will coach you hard. And I mean, Mac Jones isn't no slouch, and you give him a situation like the Patriots. It's very interesting now because they didn't have to trade up to get him or anything. So I don't know if it was a thing where he just kind of fell in their lap or if they were targeting him the whole time. But
I think after he fell from San Francisco, they knew he was going to be sitting there at 15.
Yeah, because Mac Jones either going third or we'll see what happens. So I mean, maybe if Cam doesn't get his act together, I don't mean off the field, just like as a football player, like if he starts throwing picks again and stuff like that, because I'm not one that says Cam has off the field issues. That's just kind of out of pocket. But if he keeps throwing interceptions, can't read the defense correctly, Mac Jones might get put in there. And Belichick won't waste a first round pick, especially if it's for a quarterback. The first quarterback you take since Tom Brady, you have some weight put into that. You're confident with that pick.
I mean, and the last time he drafted a quarterback with 3 letters in his first name, 5 letters in the last name.
Oh my
Tom
God.
Brady. I know. And
Drew Bledsoe. Oh no. No, it's 6.
So yeah, I like the pick. Also, all I'm gonna say is I think like when the presser starts, who you starting week 1, Bill should just come out there and be like, we're gonna start a guy that has the letters C, M, and A in his first name, Cam and Mac. So it's like, that would be the total Bill answer. Like he needs to, like, he's going to have an M, C, and an A in his first name. That's who's going to start week 1. Like that would be
start week 1.
I think it's going to be Cam. I think Bill wants to give him a fair shot because honestly, after
you
COVID,
tailored this offense for Cam. Cam loves throwing these big guys. You signed 2 tight ends, which is also a Belichick thing, but Cam loves throwing these big guys. So yeah, if you want to win games, let's say you start Cam.
Yeah, so I think I like Cam. I think he starts. If he struggles, you throw in Mac. That's what I'll say with that. But yeah, Yeah. So to end the episode, we're going to talk about the wide receiver, quarterback, college teammates, now NFL teammates. There's 4 that were taken in the first round. And I just want to go with do you think that's good for them, or should they have done something else? So first one is going to be Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase.
I'll keep it short and sweet just because we kind of went over. I thought they should have went offensive lineman, but it'll be a lot of fun. And as long as they got Joe Burrow's blessing that, hey, you're going to get hit a lot, but you got Jamar Chase running up there. They did great. They're probably the best duo that's linking up just because they had that chemistry already. I think it'll work out fine. I think either him or an offensive line would have been a pick, and they went with him.
Okay. And then I agree with you on all those. Waddle and Tua.
The more you go down, the less chemistry they have, but they still have decent chemistry there. And like I said, I feel like that pick was just directed towards Tua to give him help. I think they would have went wide receiver, whether or not they played together, but you keep Tua happy and you see what you get out of him.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. So the Bucks took Kyle. They took Trask before Minnesota. The Vikings took Mond. And then the Texans took the quarterback from Stanford.
The one you hate.
Yeah, Mills. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. They kind of went bang, bang, bang.
Bang, bang,
bang. But anyways, so
if you want someone trade up, they will be gone.
Yep. Basically. So it's funny. Tua and Waddle, I think that's my favorite combination. I know Jamar and Joe what they did. But I think it's gonna benefit. It's gonna have the most benefits. I'll say that because Joe might not have time to throw to Jamar, and Tua is gonna have a security blanket in Waddle. And Waddle is so creative; he can catch the ball 3 yards down the field and run it for 30. Like he's that type of player. So this is my favorite. Like for the quarterback benefit. Next one: Hurts and Smith.
I think there's a lot. I think that's the most underrated one because there's a lot of untapped potential from both. I just hope the dysfunction in the Philadelphia franchise doesn't hold them back because maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty big on Hurts. I think he can at least be a starter for a playoff team. There's no reason there's nothing he showed you that he can't. And I'm big on Smith. So you kind of got your offense kind of set there. Now protect him a little bit, although they're got a decent offensive line. So their offense shouldn't be a problem. Now you just got to kind of worry about how much time are they going to spend on the field because the defense can't get any stops.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I do like Hurts as well. I agree the underrated part between these two. So I totally agree. And I think Hurts can be a great starting quarterback as long as Philadelphia doesn't fuck it up.
Yeah.
As long as they don't mess up.
We got to see what the new coach has because I don't know a whole lot about him.
And the fourth combination was Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. Thoughts? I thought this was not Lawrence, not Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
Travis.
It was weird.
Travis Etienne. When you have James Robinson, who was a beast, like I did not like this pick at all. Just what do you thoughts?
Yeah, I mean it was very weird. James Robinson is going to be cheap for you because he was. I can't remember if he was drafted late, or if he was undrafted.
Undrafted.
He's undrafted. Okay, so he's going to be cheap. And he was doing numbers for you. I don't understand really that. Was he taken in the first round or second?
Who, Travis?
Yeah.
25th overall.
Yeah, that's a reach. I'm not. That's definitely the last one.
He was a day two guy.
Yeah, not just because the talent. I mean, if you because talent's all subjective. I mean, you could have every nerd in the world do a mock draft, but if you like that guy, go get him. Look at Tom Brady. Like steals happen. So go up and get your guy, but he just doesn't fit there. James, I'm big James Robinson guy.
All right, I agree with you, James Robinson. He's their guy. I did not like this pick even as a backup because you signed Carlos Hyde. He's your backup. The pick made 0 sense. So I'm with you, but yeah, I mean, I love NFL draft. I love the speculation. We're gonna keep a close eye on the Rodgers situation, but Jacob, let them know where we can get all the basketball news with you and your podcast.
Yeah, so didn't miss an episode, although me and George missed on Sunday. We were out of commission, so Josh did a solo one. So still have yet to miss an episode. We cover every single game from the NBA. We had some NFL stuff last night because we know most people watch both of them. So at TH Hoopers, Instagram and Twitter. There's 3 of us, but George Martin sometimes slacks, so it's the 2.5 Hoopers.
Yeah, and you can find me at J_sports_podcast. I'll have a new episode out tomorrow. That's going to be NBA, MLB talk. Enjoy the rest of the draft, everyone. And until next time, this has been Joshua Nokowski of the J Sports Podcast.